Welcome back to Franchisors.com. Thank you all for joining us. We have moved locations once again here. We are just outside of our nation's capital. We are in Ashburn, Virginia, not too far away from Dulles Airport. But we are really, really happy today to have the CEO and founder of Woofie's, Amy Reed, here with us today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for coming to visit our office.
Absolutely. And this is going to be really great, guys. As I'm sure you guys can see right now, we have a cute little companion here. With in Bogey is his name? Okay, Bogey, which I love that name, and we have Dude over there in the corner snoring away. So really excited for us to kind of go through this, Amy. I think this will be a really different perspective because you guys are actually on the very beginnings of your franchise adventure, and I think that this will be really special just for people to hear from somebody that is in a similar position that they're in right now.
Absolutely.
And, I think to start, when you first. I know that this business has been around for a little bit, but would you mind telling people a little bit about what Woofie's is, and then from there, who you really decided, I need to hire this department first in order to get the round?
Sure. So I started the business with my business partner, Leslie Barron.
Mm-hmm.
We're neighbors. We live right across the street from each other. So we've actually been in business for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Started with the pet sitting, dog walking business, grew that. And then over time, we added mobile grooming because all of our clients kept asking about mobile grooming. So that was a natural extension of our business. So we really built up the business here in Ashburn, and what we found was with the success that we have here in Ashburn, we really felt that we could replicate it in other markets. So a big decision was, do we grow from a corporate standpoint and add more corporate locations, or do we franchise? So we've really spent the last couple of years going to the different franchise conferences, talking to different franchisors, and really understanding the franchise world. And we've really felt that this was the right opportunity for us to grow our business. So what we did is kind of split where Leslie runs all of corporate here, so all of the pet sitting, dog walking, and mobile grooming, and then I've taken the lead on the franchise side of it. We pulled a couple of our team members, Renee Ventris, who runs all of our marketing, and then Caroline Murphy, who both of them have been with us for a very long time, and she's running all the support and training. And then we added another person with recruitment operations. So that's kind of our core team that we built. But we found the missing piece was definitely on the finance side. So we added our CFO and added her to work not only on the franchise business, but also working on the corporate side.
Yeah, just having everything in order. And I think it's pretty cool that you guys had the opportunity, because you guys have been in an established business for a long time, to be able to take from that corporate team and understand what their strengths were and to be able to apply them appropriately, which I think is definitely a really great way to go if you have that luxury. I know that this is kind of in the early days here, but I'm sure that there are some things that you've already learned from your first group of franchisees. Is there any advice that you have for people about some things that you ran into recently that you think you wish you had known before, which I'm sure there's a lot, but is there anything that's possible at all?
Sure. I think the most important thing is finding the right team members. Someone who's really going to represent your brand the best possible way, and who really understands your culture and shares that same passion for animals, because that's the core of our business. You need to have that business acumen, but you also need to bring that true passion for animals. And so really finding the right franchisees, and we're really excited about the first two that have come on board. They've been really fantastic to work with, and we learn every day with them. Every day is different. We're learning how to support them, how to make our franchise system even better, because we have a real obligation to them to make sure that we're providing them the best franchise system possible. So
absolutely, I couldn't agree more. And I think that the way that I think this will be helpful for people to understand how you guys are thinking about it when you guys are going out to these prospective franchisees and you are kind of pitching Woofie's over others. What is the differentiator that you guys are talking about?
I would say our biggest differentiator is the service offering. We're the first franchise system to offer the blended services of pet sitting and dog walking along with mobile grooming services.
Okay.
So really excited about that. I think it's a really great opportunity for people to see how lucrative the pet industry is. And when you're combining those services together, they really feed off one another. So your pet sitting, dog walking clients are naturally going to become pet grooming clients for you.
Absolutely.
Your grooming clients are going to need pet sitting, dog walking services. So you really have two revenue streams, which is really nice for the franchisees.
Yeah, and it's a really great way to ensure that you're not pigeonholing yourself and that you have multiple revenue streams for the franchisees, which is attractive to very, established franchisees as well. So that's definitely a good way to start. So awesome. And on the product side as well, is there any tools that you guys are using to kind of differentiate yourselves when it comes to maybe even local people in the market? I understand that you guys may have some proprietary stuff from from the grooming standpoint. You're coming to them too, which I think is pretty different as well. So.
Right. We're focusing in year one, especially working with local franchisees so we can keep them close to home. One of the big differentiators we have is our software system. We've done a lot of customization so that it works for the pet sitting, dog walking side of the business as well as the grooming side. And when it comes to this kind of business, logistics is everything. Your scheduling is the core of your business, so you need a really robust software system. So we're constantly working on that and making sure that we're adding all the enhancements and customizations. So that's something that we really spend a lot of time focusing on for the franchisees.
Awesome, great. And I think that when we're trying to ensure that those franchisees are being successful, I think that it is important to have some data behind that, and there are likely some metrics you guys are measuring. What are you guys measuring when it comes to unit economics to ensure that they are going to be profitable, so you guys can try and get more and more of them?
Right. We look at the KPIs. So we're running the KPIs here in Ashburn and kind of treat our Ashburn location as another franchise location, but we're also running the KPIs with our franchisees so we can really understand the number of new clients that they're bringing on board, how they're growing their team, the revenues that are coming in, obviously, number of walks, number of grooms, and different ways to increase the revenue per client. So we work a lot with KPIs with the franchisees.
Awesome, great. And I think that thus far, I guess folks may be curious because this is such a passionate business. Are a lot of your leads coming from just, folks who have used your service before at this point?
It's all clients right now. It's really everything's been driven in an organic manner. So we sent out updates to our clients and let them know that we were franchising. And our very first franchisee, Tanya in Ruston, actually wanted to become a client, but she was out of our service area, and that was why she became a franchisee. She was getting so frustrated because she couldn't find a mobile groomer in her area, and she kept hearing about Woofies, but she was out of our service area. So as soon as she heard that we were franchising, she was all over it. So it was really great. And then our second franchisee are actually longtime Woofie's clients. So everybody that we've been talking to right now are either clients or came in indirectly via our client base.
Now, something that I am curious about, mostly because you have these cute little assets here that are hanging out. Do you guys do anything special for your discovery days? I'm sure that, it's something relatively new that you guys have done a couple here and there, but is there something special you guys do because it is such a, really passionate business, animals and things of that nature? Is there anything you guys do that you mind telling people about?
We do. Dogs are a big part of everything that we do, whether it's an interview process of bringing on a new pet sitter and dog walker, whether it's bringing on a new groomer or a new back office, or bringing on a potential franchisee. So we love to have dogs at the office and to really see how they interact with the dogs. If they're dismissive and don't really do much with them, that says a lot about the level of passion that they might have for animals. So our discovery day is very structured, where we're meeting with each of the department heads, so they really get a very good understanding of the organization and what a day looks like. But it's always filled with pets as well.
Yeah, so they're sitting on the middle of the table, just like this guy was earlier, which is always good.
Oh yeah.
Hey, buddy. So in addition to that, I'm sure that there are some tools that you guys have in place right now that are really helping you guys to have that really good relationship with those first two franchisees. Is there anything that you guys have implemented? Maybe it's a certain committee, or there's a type of technology you have, or something of that nature that helps you guys to communicate with them efficiently?
Sure. We've invested pretty early on, especially with being a brand new emerging franchisor. We invested in Frank Connect software system. So we're spending a lot of time customizing that so we can use that as a really effective tool to provide all the information that they need, all the resources, and also a good way for us to communicate, not only us with our franchisees, but also the franchisees that can communicate with one another. So we invested in that. The other thing where I think we've really invested a lot, and it has been so good for us, is just networking with other successful longtime franchisors. People like Steve Murphy from Winmark, working with Mark Siebert at iFranchise Group, working with Rocco Fiorentino. Those are some people that have been instrumental in this first year with us, really helping us navigate the franchise world and working with our franchisees how to avoid some of the common pitfalls, what we can do to make our system even stronger. So going to the conferences, meeting all the different people, networking with them, that's been a big investment that we've made with our team, and Springboard is a big piece of that. That was actually the first conference that we all went to. And we learned so much about it, and it's awesome. And anybody I talk to who's a new franchisor, I'm like, you have to go to Springboard.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that, obviously.
Sure.
And, it is no accident the two of the three gentlemen that you just mentioned are also being interviewed for this exact same segment.
Really?
So I think that one I mean, I think that it is certainly no accident that, we're going to be talking to Rocco and we're going to be talking to everybody else there as well. So I think that certainly makes sense. And the networking part of franchising is really awesome. And I think that a lot of things that you can learn in addition to, the processes is kind of the abstract stuff too, which is the culture. And obviously you guys have a really cool one, mainly because it's rooted in something, that I think that people are so passionate about. When you guys were kind of trying to establish that culture, even before you franchised, how do you instill that in the employees at the corporate office and the employees that are in the field and things of that nature?
Sure. It starts from the top with Leslie and myself, and then with our management team. And we always joke about the Woofie's culture. We call it off the leash, and
I like that
for lots of reasons. But it's off the leash because you do have to think outside the box. Every day is different. You're dealing with a lot of different people, a lot of different personalities. You're dealing with animals, so you really have to be prepared for kind of anything. And you also have to provide the best type of customer service possible. That's what drives this business, is creating that trust and loyalty with your clients. So that's our culture. It's extremely important to us that everybody understands it from the top all the way down. And it's just something that we also will not deviate from. If somebody doesn't get our culture, they should not be part of the Woofie's team.
Yeah,
You just
and,
really
and
have
as
to
you grow,
embrace
it's
it.
important to keep it that way, and it sounds like you will, which I think you're getting good advice from somebody, which is always good.
Yeah.
Steve and Rocco know what they're talking about, so that's
Yeah,
always
they're
good.
awesome.
Great. So, just closing out here, there are probably a lot of things that you wish you did differently when you first started franchising. You were in that era right now where there are a lot of things that you would have changed. Is there one thing that you know now that you guys are doing really well that you didn't do in the beginning that may be able to help somebody that's in your shoes?
Well, I'm going to tell a very embarrassing story, but
Please
it's
do.
funny.
I love those.
And
I love those.
So our very first franchisee, Tanya, we had her coming in for the signing day. We had gone back and forth electronically with the franchise agreement. Everything was good to go. We had every detail down to blue flowers, because Woofie's blue. That's her color. We had the champagne. We had everything ready to go. Everything set, everything perfect, the gifts for her. And we go to sit down, and neither of us had a printed copy of the franchise agreement. So we were both sitting there with a pen, and we each thought the other one was bringing it. And that was probably one of the most embarrassing franchise fails ever. But
No, I would say that a lot of people
it was pretty
probably have
funny.
worse.
We actually all laughed. Printed it off really quick, and it ended up being probably the funniest story that we'll ever have. So, lesson learned: have a copy of your franchise agreement when you're signing.
Most certainly. And let me
Just
tell
a
you,
FYI.
And let me tell you, if that's the worst thing that happens, you guys are in pretty good shape.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. So we all got a good laugh about it and had a good sense of humor. So.
Well, Amy, I really appreciate it. I thought that this was really, really fun. I'm really happy that we could, I think that somebody in your position is certainly, it's an exciting time. And I think that it's really awesome that we got to have you on, and we really appreciate it.
Well, I can't thank you enough for coming to see us. So you guys have been fantastic, and we just love being part of the franchise community. And we're really excited to see where it's going to go.
Absolutely. Well, us too. Well, thank you so much, and looking forward to seeing you soon.
All right, thank you.